So a lot of people in our industry love to gatekeep how to make money in the industry, or they just don't really like to break it down. So I'm gonna break it down for y'all. I'm Cam and I'm a cinematographer, camera operator, person that uses a camera. There's about 3 different tiers of video people. There's probably if you just got a camera and you just take what you can get, and you probably have like some sort of mirrorless. You're just starting out at the beginning of your career, really. For these folks, you probably don't even know exactly what you want to do yet, so you're kind of just in this, I just want to get out there and like shoot whatever I can category. And you're probably doing videos for around like $500 or something. Then I would say there's like a second tier of people that are a little bit more advanced. They probably specifically know the things that they shoot and that they want to shoot, and maybe they're shooting on like an Ursa or an FX6 or an FX9 or C300, that sort of thing. These people are typically shooting like reality, documentary, and all that stuff. That's kind of the category that I'm under. And then you have the high level folks that are shooting on REs and Reds and all that stuff, and they're shooting the high-end, high-budget commercials and maybe even like narrative projects. Maybe they're part of the union. So you'll probably kind of fall into that category. One of the best things I would say is to pick a niche, try to find that as quickly as possible. There's tons of other careers that don't really have anything to do with the camera department, but obviously I chose to be in the camera department, so that's what I'm most familiar with. There's about like 3 different routes that you can take. There's the B2B route, in which you're gonna personally go and reach out to businesses or individuals. You end up kind of doing more sales really than the actual creative stuff. You do the creative things, but that comes secondary. You're more of like a salesperson. How you get those jobs is you start making connections locally in your town, maybe hit up like the Chamber of Commerce, just look for local businesses and reach out to them with your services. You'll probably have to do more like package-based pricing or try to do retainers. A lot of times they don't really understand what they want. They don't know why video would benefit them or any of that, so you're more trying to sell to them really than focusing on the creative. I prefer not to work a lot with B2B. I do it, but it's a different ball game because you don't get to focus on being a DP or the creative side as much. But you can make a ton of money doing it, and there's tons of companies that just focus on the B2B, and it totally works. In that same vein, you can also focus on doing weddings, which you can make tons of money on. Weddings are really stressful, but you can make a ton of money doing it. Definitely you can make a whole career out of shooting weddings and out of doing B2B only. Then there's more like agency and production work. With agency and production work, you would start out maybe as like a PA. You basically just get coffee for people, wrangle cables, and do trivial tasks. But it's a great starting point because you can really learn from that higher level production, which when you're doing B2B, you're kind of wearing a lot of hats and doing everything yourself. But if you're like a PA on a bigger production, you'll get to learn about that higher level production. You'll learn a lot by doing that or doing some sort of combination of both until you decide what you want to do exactly. With agency and production work, you get those jobs by building connections locally with the big agencies that do video production. I tend to prefer those jobs because they already know what it takes to build a video. They already know like what they need and what they need from the operator. You're given more of like a budget and then able to focus on the creative rather than having to sell to anybody or deal with a client directly. Of course, that comes with the fact that the agency does take a cut of it is their client, so you're kind of working for them. I really like it because you just get to focus on the video. They handle the client and you get to focus on the creative. Typically you get to work on higher budget projects because they've already built that rapport with those large brands. The other way I've seen a lot of people make money is by doing some form of online content. Like you just look all through YouTube and there's all kinds of just channels and people will just find like the craziest niches that could be literally anything. You could just create like a tennis channel and now you're just creating content for like a tennis channel. So those are the 3 main ways that I know how to make money as a camera person.